have to wait and see if anybody shows up. Are people joining? I see some viewers. I see Leanne. Hi, Sammy. Just gonna give it a second for people to join. Are you making your Facebook debut? Hi, Susan. Hi, Pauline. Good morning, everybody. You see there's another face here.
Morning, everyone.
Oh, Mooshi's like, you guys are doing some talking. He's tearing up his scratching post right now. Hi, Lisa. So this is really far away and I can barely see it, so I'm gonna move it closer while people are joining. Hi, Jeannie. It has been a long time. Hi, Patrice. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Meg. Come here. He's like, come here. You gotta at least stay over here for a minute. Orange Cat never even left the frame. Now you can only see his tail. Hi, Marcy. Hi, Pam. I missed you guys too. Let me try to get the hang of this thing again. Hi, Bridget. So we are live with, some of you know him as Colonel Mustard, but most recently he has become Mooshi. Hi, Allie. Thank you guys for popping in. If you have to leave at all during this live, you'll be able to rewatch it. It'll stay on our Facebook feed and it'll be over on our Sunshine and Sand Dollars YouTube channel as well. So when we're all done, I will get it posted over there. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Mary. So if you guys want to take a second and share or tag anybody that you know might appreciate seeing this. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Joni. Hi, Patricia. All right, so I'm gonna move this back just slightly again. Move it up a little bit. Hi, Linda. Okay. Although it has a mind of its own. Let's try that. Okay, so it's Mooshi's 2-year rescue anniversary, which is absolutely crazy. Can you believe that this thing has been living in our house for 2 years now?
I can, more like 20 years.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Allie. Thank you guys for joining. Mooshi's like, normally we just nap together. He's like, what's all this talking about? Oh, here, let's follow Moosh.
Yeah.
I feel like we can show him. He's got his favorite scratching post. Some of you guys might recognize these toys because quite a few of you sent toys to Mooshi and Commander on their Amazon wish list. And it's really funny because Mooshi really enjoys the animated toys, like that sandpiper. And Commander, it freaks him out and he does not like when they move. He likes them when they're not moving. So the sandpiper and that koi fish, both when they're touched or interacted with, make movements and sounds, and Mooshi loves it. Commander, not so much. Oh, you wore it out. No, you didn't. Sneak attack. knew he was going to be so lively? I thought he'd be the one to just lay there,
Yeah, I thought
but
he'd be sleepy
Commander
today.
definitely just laid there. So anyway, we were going live today with Mooshi because it's his 2-year rescue anniversary. And if you can believe it, this fella was very hissy and aggressive and kind of, I don't know, like, he definitely hid his personality for at least the first month or 2 of living here. What do you got going on there? Something to roll in? Must have been a catnip toy that touched that spot.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You gonna come back over and join us, or gonna keep playing? I think you hid his gingerbread man, so he doesn't know.
Yeah, I cleaned up
where
in here
that
yesterday,
is.
so they're all kind of packed inside that little cubby in there.
Oh, but that's a really cute toy.
Yeah.
You get your beta fish? You really like this new one. He loves anything that crinkles. All of his favorites. Oh, I know. I've got some of your favorites. I did not expect him to be so lively. This is our couch potato. He's the one that just wants to lay on your head and snuggle. Are you showing off? He's like, I heard that I'm like an internet superstar, so I gotta show up today. So that's just a cute little beta fish that he got from his wish list on Amazon too. He just loves anything that crinkles. He's also really obsessed with those cactus scratching posts. He gets excited and will run and attack them, thankfully, instead of attacking us. Because he does get pretty excited sometimes. Well, if he ever slows down, I can... Oh, your ramen got stuck on you.
It's stuck on your belly.
The ramen does go in the belly. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Bella. Sorry, I've been so distracted on watching him be, like, animated. He's not normally this animated. Especially this time of day.
Yeah.
It's like normally
He's
it's
just
like,
sleeping.
yeah. Well, anyway, 3rd time's the charm. I'm going to tell you a rescue story. So when Mark and I moved into this new house in, like October of 2020, something like that, we both had noticed that he was like lingering around the house, and we kind of noticed that he was living under, so our property has a second dwelling that the previous owners turned into like a mother-in-law suite or like a pool house type situation. And where'd you go? You left the frame. Here, let me get this camera turned around here. Whoop. You want to come over this way? Hi. Let's see. I want to flip the camera and I don't see the... Oh, there it is. There we go. So we noticed that something was living under that dwelling. We didn't know what it was at first. We assumed it was like a raccoon or something along those lines. And come to find out, it was this guy. And we started landscaping. We built a pathway. We were just doing some new homeowner-y things. And we ended up filling in some of the spots that he had dug out to get under that house. And so then we started seeing him on our front porch and in our driveway and under our cars and laying around in the backyard. And we did not know at all
if he belonged to a neighbor, because again, we were brand new to the neighborhood. And then one day we just kind of stopped seeing him. So I assumed he went back to wherever he was living. And then it was maybe, it was almost like half a year later, he started showing up almost daily again. So we just kind of took notice, but we weren't trying to encourage it. So we weren't like putting out food or anything like that. We have a neighbor that feeds quite a few cats. So we were just like, yeah, we're not going to add to that.
2 neighbors, actually.
Yeah. And so anyway, fast forward to one day, he was showing up daily again. And each day he was looking more and more sick. He had really, really gross, runny eyes and barely keeping his eyes open. He is a busybody. He's like, I'm gonna go check out this area over here. And so then he showed up one day and he was not using his front leg. He was just holding it out straight in front of him and hobbling around, and his eyes were looking worse and his swelling on his leg was really bad. So I decided I was gonna try to trap him so that we could neuter him, get him checked out medically, but then release him back into the neighborhood. So he'd just kind of be an outside cat. At the time we had Alice, who was older, and she'd always been the only cat. And I didn't want to stress her in her old age. So we decided, we would just release him. And then sadly, we found out that he's FIV positive, and he had fractured his leg. He also at some point had fractured his jaw. Most likely was probably hit by a car or something like that. Got snagged on something.
You want to come sit with us? Do you want to sit?
He doesn't seem very trusting of that today.
He does, and he's like, what is this about? What is this about? We've never done a live. I mean, I do take photos and videos of him constantly, but I can tell you that he is really difficult to get because he pretty much just wants to ignore you. Here, maybe that'll work. How about Mama just films Daddy petting you? Let me do that. That way I can still watch the screen.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we got him trapped. It took me 45 days to trap him. Because he was very, very elusive. He'd only come around in the middle of the night. He always wanted to eat the food I put out, but he wouldn't let you touch him or get a hold of him. I tried a traditional trap and he would never fall for it. We kept catching raccoons instead. So I got a drop trap instead. And we started using Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders, to try to trap him. But weirdly enough, the morning I actually got him, I was getting ready to leave for work. I saw him coming down the street. I dropped everything. I grabbed just a generic Friskies can of wet cat food, stuck it out in the trap, hid in the garage, and he went in to get the food, and I dropped the trap, and it was a whirlwind after that. He had thousands of dollars in medical expenses. He probably went to the vet a dozen or more times in the first few months. It was an adventure, and he had to be on cage rest for quite some time. And even when we were willing to finally okay, cage rest is done, let's explore, let's come out of the cages, it was a week or more before he would come out and hang out. Yeah. And then when he wouldn't really get close to you. He'd kind of slink around. So I started coming out and watching Disney movies and stuff like that with him. And he'd be on the other side of the room. And then one night he just jumped up next to me, cuddled up against the side of the blanket. And after that, now we pretty much can't get him to stay off of us. Me and my allergies are usually struggling because he has to basically be on your face. So... bless his little heart. And that was 2 years ago, which just is crazy. I know everybody loves that milk mustache. I'm gonna zoom in on it if my camera will let me. Do that milk mustache. And so he's really, really unique looking. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's so chubby, which he is. He's basically like a cinder block, though. It's not like chub. It's like he's just solid. And then he also has very, very short legs. So that's just another quality. I personally think he's some kind of combination of like a British short hair, because he's definitely got that fur type. He just probably wasn't like, technically I think British short hairs are solid color or very little white. He has quite a bit of white on him. So I definitely think that that's in his lineage, but he probably wasn't the perfect kitten that could have been sold for thousands of dollars or whatever, but he's definitely our little cinder block. Him's a little chunky monkey.
He reminds me of like a baby seal because he's got like a layer of like just like blubber, but it's like solid blubber, like keep him warm.
Solid blubbers. So silly. So yeah, he is something. So he became very, very cuddly, but I can be honest at this point, if one of our two male cats is more likely to turn and try to bite you at this point, it's Mooshi. It's not even Commander anymore. It's definitely Mooshi. So,
well, we wonder about him having back pain and like, because he's kind of funky when you pick him up, and
yeah,
he doesn't like to be touched in the hind end a lot.
Yeah, I think because maybe he was potentially hit by a vehicle or clipped by a vehicle, or was attacked, or something happened to him, and we do think he might have some residual pain. We know for a fact in his front paw, he kind of holds it like a claw. We always say it's like a claw machine. So which is the one he just twisted there. He has a funky nail on that foot. So we know that he's a little more testy because...
And the one nail doesn't grow on that foot, too.
Yeah.
He's got one that's missing.
Missing a whole nail. Got a funky little claw foot. But he has become very, very loving, but it is definitely still on his terms, which we're totally fine with, of course. But... Yeah, so he also had a lot of eye issues, and still does to this day. So because he's FIV positive, it's an immune, like deficiency where he's constantly going to be fighting various things. So we try to keep his environment really stress-free, really calm, really clean, so that he doesn't have to struggle more than he already is. But with his eyes, he had to have entropion surgery. His eye closest to us on the camera was severe. Like, he could barely open it. It was constantly all kinds of discharge, and you could tell it was painful. And basically that's when the eyelid rolls in on itself and the fur on the eye is constantly scratching and scarring the actual eye. And so it's essentially, the surgery is like having an eye lift, which is, it was no fun, but he did really, really good. He had to wear a cone for quite a while, lots of eye drops, and still to this day, pretty much once or twice a day, we still have to wipe his eyes a bit because he just gets kind of that rusty discharge type of like leakage basically, and he does leave little drops of it all over the place. You can always tell where Mooshi's been because he's got his little eye drops.
Always seems like real bad after he eats. It's
yeah,
like it always seems to be like the number one, like, you know, you're gonna have to wipe his eyes once he gets done.
Or that mustache again. Yeah. He's a good boy. I've got it zoomed in just on his sweet little face.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't like the fireworks either. Out of the two cats, he really struggles with loud noises.
Well, for a long time, so he's kind of in our back room lanai area is where he's pretty much adjusted for the last couple of years. And anytime Mark would start up the lawnmower in the backyard, this poor thing would just run and hide in his litter box. And he finally adjusted to that, but this last, was it New Year's Eve?
It was New Year's Eve, yeah.
New Year's Eve, our neighborhood blew up with fireworks, and it was really traumatic for him, and so it was almost like a flashback to 2 years ago when he was hiding from absolutely everything. So he does still have some sensitivities, thunderstorms even. You can tell at first he kind of, it's almost like he looks around like, where do I take shelter? And then he remembers he doesn't have to because he's fine. So yeah, isn't that right? He's such a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys might be able to hear him purring. He does purr a lot. Him and Commander both have really unique purrs. They're almost like gurgly. They almost sound like they should be snotty, but they're not.
Yeah. They both have their own little vocalizations too. You can always tell them by their meows are a little bit different.
Yeah, Mooshi's is almost like sweet and chirpy, and Commander is just like wah,
Yeah.
like a siren.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys again for anybody who's joined and is chatting away in the comments. This is Mooshi. His name used to be Colonel Mustard, but Mark had named him Colonel Mustard the very first time we ever saw him lingering around in the neighborhood because of those big old chops, those big cheeks. And shortly after he came around and started letting us, you know, snuggle him and pet him and all of that, it became almost an instant nickname, which was Mooshi, because he's so smooshable. And we also just thought it was really cute, so it just kind of became a thing. There was no like rhyme or reason. Just one day Mark called him Colonel Mustard outside, and I thought that was hilarious, like from Clue. But if you Google it, you will see an older gentleman with big chops and it looked just like Mooshi. And then once he became really lovable, he just became Mooshi. Isn't that right? He looks at you with such like love. It's almost too much to handle sometimes.
It's ridiculous.
So he's Colonel, aka Mooshi, but today is officially his 2-year rescue anniversary. So exactly 2 years ago to the date, I was able to finally trap him after 45 days. You can probably ask Mark about this. I stressed out for 45 days. I would sit in front of the front window, the front of the house, and just hawkeye out the window waiting for him to arrive. And a lot of days he would never come around. Some days he would come around, but then something would spook him away.
He'd love to sleep underneath my truck.
Yeah, he loved to sleep under the cars. He would come onto the carport for food, but then he would just startle and run. And so yeah, it was quite the ordeal. And I sobbed when I finally caught him for a bunch of reasons. I'm like, finally he's gonna get help. Holy crap, now what do we do? Oh man, like what did I get myself into?
He was a very stinky boy too.
He was filthy.
You know, we called him Dirt Cat.
He was
such a dirty cat.
He was Dirt Monster for sure.
Was.
Absolutely Dirt Monster. Anne Marie, I do think Mooshi should have a calendar. I am gonna look into it for next year. Obviously we're still trying to get our small business up and running, Sunshine and Sand Dollars. And that is definitely something I'd like to do if and when I'm able to get some sort of store set up. But I would love to feature Mooshi and Commander on all kinds of things, but a calendar would be really, really awesome.
We definitely drink out of a coffee mug with old Mooshi on it.
Sure. Joanne, no. Mooshi really has not shown any desire of going outside. When he first came out of his cage rest era, he would look out the window, but immediately just go lay on the couch. So still to this day, he just doesn't seem to care about that at all.
Well, we got a back door back here, and he's never interested in going to that back door.
Yeah,
just to maybe look out, but doesn't scratch at it or anything. Just he likes being back here. And
yeah, he has a door to the outside to a screened-in porch area, and then he's got 2 large windows, but he just does not care about that.
What is your tail telling everybody? He's like, I'm relaxed, but I'm feisty.
Mm-hmm.
This is about the time where he could decide to bite and run.
Mm-hmm.
Alice used to do that too, so I've always known those signs. So you can see his one paw that he like curves in under himself. That's the one that we know was fractured. When he first was trapped and he went to the Humane Society, most of you know Dr. Justin, and he's the one that actually neutered him and gave him a full exam and estimated him at that time to be about 5 or 6 years old. So he's maybe between 6 and 8 now.
Yeah,
I don't know. So I do think he's probably a little older, or he at least acts a little older than Commander. And Commander, exactly a year later, showed up in the same predicament. Our BFF Sarah was the first one to spot Commander doing all the same things that Colonel did exactly a year previously. Was under our cars, but he was a lot easier to catch. It was one whole day after we had seen him and decided if anyone can catch him, we're helping him. And the very next day, our neighbor actually scooped him up into a carrier. So his story went a lot smoother than Mooshi's did. But yeah,
He was way easier to handle.
yeah,
Orange
Commander
County,
would let you
so-
pick him up right away. Mooshi would not. So it was one of those things where they had a lot of similarities, but yet have been completely different.
Yeah, we had to use a scratcher with him. Remember when we 1st got him? We felt like, because he didn't always tolerate even being pet.
Yeah.
Hi,
He
Betty.
did.
I know, Mom.
Now
I can't crouch like that anymore.
you'd never know that now.
Oh, not at all.
And he's been so good with everyone who's ever come to the house to meet him.
Yeah.
He's not had a problem with anybody. He'll just basically,
It's like lap diving. He pretty much just like dives into the first person's lap that sits down, and then every other person that sits down, he just keeps going from lap to lap to lap.
yeah.
And he loves our house sitter and gets along great with her, and so it's been a pretty unbelievable journey for him. So I do want to segue just for a bit. So if you guys joined in late, we did kind of cover Mooshi's rescue story. He played with some toys, which was super cute. He's finally chilling now. So I do have kind of a new announcement. Oh, actually, wait, before we leave, just talking about Mooshi. I did enter Mooshi in a contest, which is so funny. It's called America's Favorite Pet, and it will be a contest where our friends and family can go and vote for him to be on the cover of a magazine, which most of you all say he should be on the cover of something anyway, so I'm hoping that you guys will help us out with that. I will be posting links when the contest is relevant. He's all signed up for it, but doesn't actually start until January 29th. So I will definitely share that, and I'll be sharing that in our newsletter. So if you guys have not signed up for our newsletter, I did link that in the description of this video. But basically it's sunshineandsandollars.com/newsletter. And you guys can sign up there, and I will be sending out our next newsletter on February 1st. Pretty much going to do it on the 1st of each month. And then if something special like the Mooshi contest comes up, then you guys can definitely get a newsletter update on something like that as well. So just wanted to throw that out there. I think it would be really awesome if Mooshi won that. Like, a cat that struggled for so many years on the street gets voted America's favorite. I think that would be incredible. So anyway, that does segue me into a very big announcement. And I'm gonna zoom out because I want you guys to see Mark's face when I say this.
Oh, Lord.
So, we did a thing. We decided that, well, I had already told you guys that once the Christmas trees in the house came down, we were gonna start introducing Commander, or Orange Cat, to the rest of the house. So I did that on January 2nd. That was his first day of like full house field trip fun time for all. I was a panicked mess because all he wanted to do was jump on top of everything. But He has since learned some parameters and some ground rules.
Some.
Some.
It's a daily test.
But what absolutely broke my heart and just killed me was that Mooshi was out here in this section of the house and he was just crying. He was so sad that there was all this excitement going on in the rest of the house, and he was just out here. Even though he's been incredibly content in this space, he just broke my heart. And it didn't feel fair that he had been here a year longer and he wasn't going to get access to the house. So Mark and I made the decision to start trying to reintroduce them. We did try to introduce them. Gosh,
Maybe
Commander.
it was about 3 months.
3 or 4 months into Commander living here, we tried to introduce them, and it did not go well. It was traumatic for Mooshi and myself, and I swore we'd never put him through that again because he started hiding again. He got chunks of fur ripped out of him. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And very sad. So we were like, oh, okay, never again. We're never putting them together. Well, somebody from our wish list sent us some of those Feel Away diffusers. So we plugged in a few of those, and we decided that we were just going to open all the doors because Commander didn't have territory established in the rest of the house yet. It was brand new for both of them. So we did it on like January 4th.
Mm-hmm.
We opened all the doors, and it has been going really well. It's been going really, really well. The cool part about the whole situation right now, though, is for most of the day, they both just cohabitate in the house and all of the rooms. But at food time, which they're fed 3 times a day in smaller amounts because of chunky weight issues.
And dietary restrictions, because Orange Cat doesn't eat the same.
Right. Orange Cat is on a very specific diet because of his skin. Oh, look at him. He's like, pet me again. Orange Cat's on very specific food, so we can't let them eat together or at the same time. So what we've been doing is, and it's really cute because they already, you know, your cats already know what time food time is. Yeah, see, he's like, I get you. So at exactly 4 o'clock every day, they both go put themselves back in their rooms where they've always been, and we just close the doors, and then we go get their food and we feed them. And so it has been really, really awesome.
Yeah, 90% of the time. Sometimes I got to pick up Orange Cat because he's sleeping somewhere. In
Yeah,
house.
he
But
loves to
this
sleep
one.
in the front window.
This one for sure is always ready for cat food time. He's 10 minutes to 15 minutes early, if not 20 minutes early.
He
Yes,
is.
we're talking about you.
And it's really cute because they'll continue to walk us to their food dishes. Like they will like come find us and then stare at you, and then they'll walk themselves back to their food dish again. So I think what I want to try to do is, do you want to keep this kind of pointed in this direction?
Sure.
I'm gonna like go open the doors to the Orange Cat, and we're gonna see if he wants to come in here or not.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think,
works.
buddy? We gotta open this door.
Noah's following you out now.
I know, I figured he would, but.
If we lose, oh, that's because you left your bedroom open.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Look at where it is. Orange Cat's allowed in
You
here.
gotta drop a little bit lower.
Oh. Orange Cat's
There you
allowed
go.
in
There's
here.
Orange Cat.
Now you get to play with all his toys.
He's gonna
He's
sure
like,
about
I'm
all
gonna go
that.
straight out to the front window.
Yeah, a good chance.
He'll be back in here.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Why don't you go find Moosh, and I'm gonna probably wrap this up.
Hi, babies.
Let me. There we go. Hi, it's me again. So it did work out. So far, so good. We don't leave them unattended for long because there have been some really good swipes at each other chasing each other a little bit. But I think the funniest change to the whole dynamic is we used to think Commander was going to be the one that would likely hurt Mooshi. Now that they have all this extra space, Mooshi's actually the aggressive one, which we were not expecting. He's like a little bulldog. He gets a little bit bully, but it is kind of funny because that's not the dynamic that we thought we were gonna have. Oh, are they back?
Yeah, we're both stopping in on
Oh no. I don't know what happened. There we go.
touch noses.
All right. Hi, kiddos. Everybody's huddling around Daddy. Well, we always laugh because we're like, he's always like, I don't know why they like me so much. And I'm like, you feed them.
Yeah.
You are the food dish.
It's a big part of it.
You are the food dish person. You gonna get him when he comes back? So it's been really awesome to have open doors in the house. Oh, cats, they never do what you want them to do. What do you think, buddy? Are you waiting on him to come see you? I think that one needs charged.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, it's working. There's Orange Cat.
Looks very confused right
Yeah,
now.
he's like, that doesn't interest me that much right now. What do you got going on? You got a new friend, don't ya? So they really don't enjoy like being super near each other. They will walk up to each other and butt heads and, you know, kind of pass at a generous distance from one another. They have both been on the couch at the same time. They've both been in the front window at the same time. But we have definitely seen some pretty nasty side eyes.
Yeah.
Some side eye glances where we're like, uh-oh, that's gonna not be good here in a second. But for the most part, it's been really, really good. Yes, Belinda. So the fish and are both fully rechargeable, which has been awesome. But you can see Mooshi has actually gotten really good at flat catting. So he likes to flat cat anytime that Orange Cat might be entering the room so he can feel it out. But while they're not exactly friends, they will tolerate space right now as long as they're supervised. Like I said, you turn your back for too long, you will hear somebody scuffle. But we were really, really happy with it, so. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We know these lives from home with our cats at home are pretty silly, but we have fun with it. And we really appreciate everybody's support. And make sure you go sign up for our newsletter and check out our blog. We'd really appreciate that. And we will be sending out the newsletter here shortly, and we'll remind you guys how you can vote for Mooshi. And thank you again for everybody who is helping out in the comments, talking to each other, and joining us. We just can't thank you guys enough for all of your support. And I've lost my cats to another area of the house, so we are done. All right, thank you guys. See you guys soon.